Are you thinking about picking up the Fender Player Series Precision Bass? Well, we've got Max back with us, and we're going to put it through its paces today, right here on Geargasms. Hi everybody, welcome to Geargasms. I'm your host, Alan Barnes. We got Max back in the studio with us today by popular demand. One thing I didn't tell you about Max last time, he is a bass player for a band named Wavvy Gravy. 2 V's and Wavvy. And if you don't get the subtle cleverness of that, maybe this channel is not for you.
Yeah.
Now, Wavvy Gravy was supposed to have a gig tonight, but it got canceled by the old Rona. And here's the shame of it. It's a high school band.
Yeah.
It's not going to be in excess of capacity rules. It's going to be their parents. One of them has a girlfriend. She'll probably be there. One of them has a cousin with a lazy eye. He always comes to that kind of stuff because he doesn't get out of the house much. He ain't got nothing to do. 4 or 5 other peoples and one person who's a friend of their parents from church. That's who's going to be there. That ain't violating no kind of coronavirus density rules. Jesus Lord. But today, we're going to do something groovy. First, let me please ask you to like and subscribe. Max is a subscriber. He knows that this channel is pretty much a fecal dumpster fire of garbage content, but every once in a while, I'll knock one out of the park. If you got some really low-class friends, and I know you do, tell them about Geargasms.
Yeah.
So Max got the Fender Player Series P-Bass.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a guitar dude. I've always been kind of curious about basses. I think I kind of know a little something about them, you know, and especially to me, you know, those 2 classic Fender basses is the Jazz and the P-Bass. And I've often wondered if I ever got one, which one would I get? I'm like, well, the Jazz has 2 pickups. Doesn't that give me more sounds? But it's kind of a different beast. Max has picked the Precision Bass, and I think this is, yeah, it's the Player Series, so it's the new one. It's got all the upgraded cool stuff.
Yeah.
The signal path is Max, his fingers connected to that piece of wood with the strings on it. We got it going through one of these copper electronic cables underneath my ass over here into the amp with nothing but the amp, by the way, Fender Rumble 40, straight up Max's home recipe EQ that he brought from home, and a Shure SM57 into the DAW.
Yeah.
Now, Max just got this not too terribly long ago, but what went into the decision to get the P-Bass versus the Jazz?
Well, if I'm going to be completely honest, it's because I didn't have a P-Bass and I wanted one. You know? There's something about the tone, you know? These pickups, they pick up the strings differently than all the other basses, you know.
Is Jazz bass shorter though? Isn't it a little shorter scale, or do they have a shorter scale Jazz bass?
I'm not sure about the scale, but I know that the neck is a lot thinner. Like the ones I have, the nut's probably like about half of this. So it's a thinner neck.
So on this, and I think the Jazz has 2 pickups, right? It's got a neck.
Yep.
So maybe a little more versatility there. But just with that one pickup set, you're pretty much down to volume and tone.
Yeah.
As far as, and your fingers, obviously, and amp settings. So show us some Fender Player Series magic.
All right. My fingers are slipping.
That's all right. My viewers are used to flubs. This is Flub Central. That fingerboard is supposed to be Palfaro, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really does not look like it. That is the best looking piece of Palfaro I've ever seen, because if you look behind you, that's a Fender Player Series Jazzmaster with Palfaro. Look how red that fretboard looks compared to yours. Yours looks like full-on rosewood. With bass players, does it matter as much, like say, we'll just call this like a rosewood. Those were your 2 standards, rosewood, fingerboard, maple fingerboard. For guitar players, it matters a whole lot. Does it matter as much on bass? Did you choose this over the full-on maple for a specific?
Well, this is like a kind of like a new old stock bass for me. So I buy all my basses off my friend who buys them used. So I got this, like, it's in mint condition, but I bought it used.
Oh, nice.
So he had it. So I bought it because he had it, and I liked the way it played.
Right.
But when I'm looking at a bass, usually I like maple fretboards because they're brighter.
Yeah, I feel that way like it with a guitar too. But
Yeah.
Okay, so it does make a difference, not just.
It does a little difference, but with the P bass, I think I want a darker sound. I want a darker tone.
Right.
So this fretboard probably fits better than a maple would.
Right. Let's run through the tone control. I think what we just heard was full on all the way up, and I guess, and again with volume and bass, guitar players, we use volume a lot, especially in a tube amp situation. We can crank it down a little bit. The volume will drop, but it'll also clean up. Volume control on this, was that something you wouldn't futz with at all, probably, or?
When I'm playing live, I think I keep it around 75%, just so that I have that extra 25% to crank up.
Push up.
Yeah, if it gets really loud, my drummer goes a little too hard. I can still be a little
that
up
makes
there.
sense. That's funny because that was always a guitar player problem that I never associated with the bass. We'd leave ourselves some room so we could get out in front for the solo, which basses don't normally do, and then of course we would pull back. And if you've ever played with those people in bands, guitar players, you know what I'm talking about. They go up for the solo and then they never come back down. So then you're starting off the next song and that dude's already hot. And what did he do between songs? He went over there and gave it another twist. Oh, again, you gave us full tone. Let's give me half the treble knob and first of all give us back that full tone again so we can A/B it because we've all forgotten what it sounded like.
Halfway.
Halfway. Just halfway. But yeah, I like the tone of that because so many tones just feel like it's good all the way up and it gives you everything, and as you go back the other way, it's putting an ever thicker blanket on it, and it starts to be muffled. It's like people talking to you through a mask. So we heard it halfway. Let's go all the way, where on most guitars it just doesn't work, but let's hear that thing all the way down and hear just how mellow and unattacky it can be, how almost stand-up-ish. It's my new favorite song, dude.
That's actually the bass line from an original that we have. Yeah.
See?
In a different key, but
Nice.
yes.
But you'll be surprised when you don't cover that.
Yeah.
What kind of pickups does it have in it? It's like in the time that it took you to ask me that question,
You could have Googled it and known.
I believe the children are our future. We probably won't include this conversation on the video, but we just might, because there's a lot of you dumbasses out there that are so needy and you expect to eat from the Geargasm spoon. Open up for choo-choo. Google.
Here comes to play.
What's that long ago that Max was eating like that?
Yeah.
But kids, use your tools. Google it.
It was actually last week.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom.
Chords and everything. You know any of the Jackson 5 based on?
Yeah.
The Love You Save?
I don't know that one.
ABC?
I know I
Want
Want
You
You Back, yeah.
That one, yeah, that's actually the best one.
Yes, because it's the bass line.
Yeah. Oh, let's start again. Some Jackson 5, people.
That's what it is. Okay. I thought I knew it.
Take 3.
Third time's a charm.
Oh, was that?
I got it right one time. I got it right one time. You can use the one time.
We'll mash it up. Make it right.
We'll make it right.
Yeah.
I haven't played that much. There it is. I'll get it right this time.
Take 2.
I got it. I think. Very cool.
Do you know any of the Police?
I do. Which Police songs?
Just a castaway, an island lost at sea. Oh. Pee Wee Herman sings some Sting.
Yeah.
Well, what did we learn today? We learned that Max can play the crap out of a bass, but we already knew that. We also learned that just a simple setup on the Fender player bass, 1 volume, 1 tone, 1 pickup. The spectrum of tones is available with just this simple recipe. It's another great example of Fender back in the 1950s coming up with the very first version of something and getting it right off the bat. They did it with the Strat, they did it with the Tele, the P-Bass, and the Jazz. That's a Grand Slam home run from Fender in the 50s. We also learned that being in a band right now ain't all it's cracked up to be. It's tough. I forgot to mention that Wavvy Gravy they have recorded, I'll call it an album because I'm 1,000, but it's still a collection of songs. Just like a collection of anything, you can call it an album. So Max is a very lucky kid in that he's growing up in this era of really cool technology, but he's also unlucky in the fact that there's not really a paying music industry out there much anymore, and he's also unlucky because of all this Rona stuff.
Rona.
As always, I thank you for your time. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Ring that bell for notifications. We got t-shirts.
Buy a cheapskate t-shirt.
As always, I thank you for your time. You can hit the like and subscribe button. Ring that bell for notifications. We got t-shirts.
Buy a t-shirt, you cheapskates.
Whatever you do in the next 7 days, don't tell Vince Neil about it, because he's just going to eat the whole thing and then belch it right back into your face.
And then eat you.
And then belch you right back into your mom's face.
No mask.
It's gross. Play more guitar, watch less YouTube, but keep coming back here week after week for more
Geargasms.
Welcome to Geargasms. I'm your host, Alan Barnes. Today I got in the studio Max. He's a bass player in the band Wavvy Gravy. Say hello to the people at home, Max.
Hello.
Tell me a little bit about that bass you're holding, Max.
Well, this is a great bass. I really like it. Play it really well. And I'm in a band called Wavvy Gravy.